You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.
Hello, all you weirdos. Jim here, and we have some breaking news. Now, this week, Marvel has promised to give us the creative teams on both the upcoming X Factor book and also the Wolverine book. I think a lot of people are interested in finding out that Wolverine creative team. At one point, the word was that Greg Capullo was going to be doing the art, and that seems to have been pulled back. So I am looking forward to that. In the meantime, we get this X Factor bit of news. And I'll discuss my dislike of the writer, but I don't want that to get in the way of the news deal. So I'll just tell you the headline here is X Factor to be written by Mark Russell with art by Bob Quinn. And yes, I said written by Mark Russell. I'm not a big fan. Every writer has their fans, and I'm sure that a lot of people will tell me that the way that this book is going to be set up, Mark Russell is the perfect fit for it. That doesn't mean that I'm going to enjoy reading it or that I even will. But I will say before we get into this, we all should at least give it, at least an issue. I think that if you're interested enough to watch the video here, that you're probably interested enough to give Mark Russell and Bob Quinn at least that one issue. I'll probably give it 3, which will be funny because I believe that that'll probably be half of what the series will end up as. But hey, that's just me. Does feel like it might be a mini series. Marvel does that a lot where they'll end up having a book come out and then they won't tell you until later that it's a mini series, making you wonder, was it always like that? Even though Marvel just recently said that they're going to get away from doing a lot of those minis and want to do like 10-issue things. I don't know. This seems like it might be, a mini, but we'll see. We'll see. Here is a news item straight from the wire, as we say, from Marvel Comics. A team of mutants pay a high price for fame, fortune, and power in X Factor. Set in the X-Men's upcoming From the Ashes era, X Factor by Mark Russell and Bob Quinn brings back the iconic government mutant team. Now, I am kind of joking about Mark Russell. Not that I don't like his writing because I hate it. I'm just kind of, keeping it light, right? I often say that Mark Russell will never write anything that I'll enjoy. The guy could get a grocery list and try to make it funny and topical, and I don't find it either. The topical part of it is usually forced, and the funny part just is nowhere to be seen. But we'll see how this is. We'll see. And really, if you are a fan of Mark Russell, if you're not, we'll go through this and we'll discuss and decide, does this sound like a Mark Russell book? Spoiler, it does. While the X-Men's mission forces them to work outside the law, certain teams have found ways to fight for mutant rights within the system as officially sanctioned strike forces. In the upcoming From the Ashes era, that tradition continues in a new volume of X Factor from Eisner-winning writer Mark Russell. Fantastic Four life story, The Flintstones. I thought they'd mentioned the Snagglepuss Chronicles, but that's just me. It's funny, a lot of people talk about the Flintstones now. Go to Comic Roundup and go back. And when it was initially coming out, not great reviews, but it also says an acclaimed X-Men artist, Bob Quinn. I'm not really familiar with Bob Quinn's art, but I think that he was a pretty good Pittsburgh Penguin back in the day. Captain America and Knights of X is what he ended up being on there. It continues, and this is where you kind of see that, the setup is a Mark Russell joint. Formed by the government in response to post-Krakoa outbreak of mutant paramilitary ops squads and mercenary teams, X Factor will be co-led by Angel and Havoc. I like both of those characters, and include recruits like Pyro, Frenzy, Feral, and more. I'll repeat that. Pyro, Frenzy, Feral, and more. I want an oh my there, but my favorite of that whole bunch is and more. Love that guy. Part special agents for missions that require an arsenal of superpowers and part celebrity propaganda machine. You're starting to see the thumbprints here. X Factor will wage war against emerging factions like the Mutant Underground and X-Term. Whether they believe in their actions or just doing it for a check, the members of X Factor are no fools when it comes to shady politics. They ain't nobody's fools when it comes to the shady politics, I'll tell you. As hidden agendas rear their ugly head, that's kind of shameful. You don't have to call them ugly, right? They'll fight against the dark consequences and disastrous public opinion from the inside. again, maybe that whole paragraph shows why or what, and it's Mark Russell's story, but okay, that feels 100% like a Mark Russell story. We'll have to see. I don't know if I don't like anything he's written. I'm just not a fan. I used to get in a little bit of fights with him too. He ended up doing the Prez book at DC, and it ended up getting canceled at 6 issues. But he said that it was actually on hiatus. I looked at the sales numbers and I said, that ain't no hiatus. This thing's canceled. He argued with me for days on end about it being a hiatus. I said it was canceled, whatever. Yeah, it was canceled. So take that. Take that, Mark Russell. A news person shouldn't really take things personally. I've heard this, but hey, what the heck? This is a new type of news. Fame, fortune, mutants. It continues. And a lot of the things in this press release, it feels like they wrote something, walked away a bit, maybe took a bath, bubble bath, maybe, sang a little something, came back and forgot that they had what they were doing and started kind of from the beginning again. But we'll just go with it. Fame, fortune, mutants. My favorite 3 things. From the ashes of Krakoa, a new mutant arms race sweeps the globe. International governments are building their own mutant armies. You know who would really do good in an arms race? That 8-legged armed Spider-Man? He'd be pretty cool. He's not a mutant. But only America's X Factor has the most powerful, most patriotic, most marketable mutant heroes to stem the tide and make the world safe for democracy. Join them as they go from one death-defying mission to another. Who will die? Who will fall in love? Who will be the first to sell out? If I was on the team, every one of them would be me. In that order. I'd die, fall in love, then sell out. Like, comment, and subscribe to find out, it says. Oh, yay. Ooh-wee, this is going to be a fun one. Can't wait. The thing I've always loved about the X-Men is that they're characters first, superheroes second, Russell shared. I thought he was going to say, the thing I've always loved about the X-Men is me and my humor. That's what he usually thinks. So being able to write characters like Havoc and Angel and Frenzy in a post-Krakoa reality is an opportunity to write about what I really care about, which is how do we help each other survive the apathy of the world we live in. The apathy, that's what has been getting us this whole time. I didn't think that's what it was. Didn't realize we're fighting apathy here. I guess that's what he says. We continue then with Bob Quinn to maybe get some sanity in this whole thing. It's so exciting to be back and drawing mutants in the X-Men universe again. Okay, yeah, that's good. And doubly exciting to work with Mark again. It's gone to the insane. Quinn added, to my mind, Mark's mix of humor and ability to shine a light on the peculiarities of modern society make him the perfect writer to tackle the relaunch of X Factor. As I said, you can argue with me that this could be the perfect book for Mark Russell, but is there a thing? I don't know. Drawing this team in every unexpected twist and turn of the story has been a blast so far. Can't wait to all the online things and the emojis. It's going to be awesome. And I can't wait for readers to get their hands on it, he says, but there you go. Again, I'm not going to say full out. Well, jokes aside, I don't like his writing, but jokes aside, maybe this will be his thing. Every writer ends up usually getting their thing, right? And maybe this will be it. Maybe this will go on for 500 issues. Mark Russell's going to crack the code. Everybody's going to be in. Yeah, maybe. But it's just, again, it's probably, I hope it's for me. I doubt it. I really do fully. I don't like his writing, not even joking. It just ends up where things are always thrown in. You just had it this past week when he ends up jumping in on the Brainiac, House of Brainiac special over at DC. And it's in the middle of an event. And he uses it to just throw shade at one side of the political deal. He throws shade at, different factions in the comic fan. No. Just tell a story. Tell a good story. Don't sit there and use it as your personal bitch board. That's what he ends up doing. I often joke that the guy is one of those things. I don't want to, shame Tay-Tay here, but he's like the Taylor Swift of comic book writers. He walks out of the house, and anybody who does anything, if they give him the wrong order at McDonald's, he's running home to write an issue about it because he feels he's been slighted. Somebody ends up riding by and says, "Hey, nice shorts." There's an issue. Maybe a series. That's how it feels, and everything's forced. And I say this, and I haven't read it yet, but I'm going to be reviewing tonight. I have to record this. The Blood Hunters book. He has a story in that, and I've already been told with Jason, who I'm reviewing with, "Oh, it's Mark Russell thinks he's funny," and it's not for me. But we'll see. We'll see if anybody's excited about this. What you think about it? I still say, fully, and I know that there'll be people in the comments giving me shit about all this, but I do think that overall, no matter how I feel or whatnot, I will still give this a couple issues, at least one, but probably a couple, probably three, to see if it's good, because I don't want to end up missing something that maybe I could like, especially from a writer that I typically don't. There's been cases in the past where I have not liked somebody's writing, and then I don't want to give up because I have found things that I do like from them. So we'll see. We'll see. Let me know what you think of all that in the comments below. And yeah, yell at me, whatever happens. That's news, man. We know how it goes. The hard-hitting ones really know what it's all about. So thanks, everybody, and I will talk to you later.
You are all weirdos.
Weird science is the revolution. Weird science is the revolution.